Welcome, Muscle Science for Women.
Welcome.
Ashley and Rachel, party
What
time.
up?
Excellent. That was a Wayne's
Chit
World
chats, have fun.
reference. That was a Wayne's World reference for any of you who may have caught that. Do you know about Wayne's World or are you too young? Kind
A
of?
little bit. A little
Okay,
bit.
that's fair. That's
Like I've
fair. As
heard
long
of
as you
it, but I
sort
don't
of
like
recognized it.
know things about it.
That's fair. That's fair. Listen, you've heard of it. That's a step in the right direction. Let me just start
Like Little
really.
Wayne?
Okay, don't. Just stop. Stop. We're gonna go right by it. I don't even want to. Just don't. Okay? Because I like you, and
Okay,
I
then
I
I
don't
don't.
want to. I need to make a note. Wayne's World. Okay. I'm gonna breeze right by that. I just came back
Okay.
from my daughter's, it's still weird to say that, my daughter's 4-month appointment, and I'm continuing my reign of being the shortest person in my entire extended family because they weigh and measure them, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, I feel like Seneca's like a little bit petite. Not that there's anything wrong with that. There's a wide range of like baby sizes when they're young, but I'm like, I just hope she's eating enough, whatever, because I'm exclusively breastfeeding and you never know, whatever. And so they're measuring her and they're like, well, she's getting a little like the percentile for weight is going down a little bit. It's nothing to be really worried about, but it's because she went from 50th percentile for height, totally average, nothing wrong with that,
Hmm.
to like 98th percentile, which was Magnus too. He was like in the 90th for like height and like 20th for weight. He's
Yeah.
just like a string bean. I say that lovingly. I love him so much. And I guess I shouldn't be talking about like body shapes in any case, but like whatever, he's not listening to this. But anyway,
Are you
she's
sure?
super. I mean, I doubt it. I
What
think
up,
the only
Magnus?
the only the only person in our family who listens to this is Alex, and I have to watch out for his
Hey,
commentary, but it's
Alex.
usually positive. Yeah, say hi because he does always listen and has
I
something to
know.
say.
He's like our
Um,
number 1 fan.
he truly is. He is our number
Yeah.
one fan. Anyway, she is tall, and I'm like, once again, I am the shortest person in my family. She will be taller than me by the time she's 12. And you can teach her, you and Alex both, not me, can teach her some basketball skills if she's going to be
I was
tall
gonna
because
say,
let's do
let's
that.
go.
I'm like, now that people actually are caring about the WNBA more, maybe
Hmm.
she can bring home some, she can get a contract and she can buy me a house when she's older. This is going
Love
in a
that.
bad direction. I'm gonna stop talking. But I was just excited about that. That went well. And I'm like, oh, my daughter's like tall and that's so cute because I'm not tall. Okay.
Cute.
That's it.
I love
That's
it.
it. Cute. Very
That's your
cute.
update.
That's my update. And we were also talking offline about just some cool ideas. Like in the last episode, we were talking about maybe making some merch, which we got really excited about.
Hmm.
And you were also telling me, we were kind of talking about the idea of like some in real life kind of things that
Hmm.
like you may be interested in, that maybe we might be interested in. And it reminded me again of how much has changed since the pandemic when you and I started working together in the beginning. That
Hmm.
before this all hit and the world shut down and we weren't allowed to do anything for a while, I was gallivanting all over the place doing these events, these like little kind of evening events that were bringing people together who were into fitness and health and hanging out and eating healthy stuff and having kind of talks and stuff from smart
Hmm.
people. And it
Community.
was community and it was really cool. And even for somebody like me who is just tired, a tired introvert, I miss it. And I know a lot of people miss it. And there is a level of inspiration that comes from that cannot be replicated in a webinar or a podcast or something like that. So it's just something you and I have been kind of like just thinking about, and we'd love to know if listeners are interested in that kind of thing.
Yeah. Like
Because
a
if you're
retreat
not,
type thing or something
yeah,
like
and if
that.
you're not interested in it, that's also cool. That's good to know because we don't want to do a lot of work and then nobody really wants to show up for it. But there's so many ways it could look, right? There can be like
Yeah.
weekend retreats where we go and do a bunch of
Hmm.
fitness stuff and food and hang out together and you make friends. There can be like more education focused stuff where maybe we take some of the programs on the road or something. Like there's so many
Yeah.
things we can do. But we'd just be interested in like some feedback from you guys. And if you've done wellness fitness retreats, I've gone to a few myself.
Hmm.
So I have some feedback, things that you and I can talk about offline, but just kind of interested in what people think,
Yeah.
like what they'd want to do.
Yeah.
Have you
So
done have you done anything like that
I
before?
no, the only thing that I have done Only things like conferences that like where we
Yeah.
met,
Yeah.
the where was it?
Keto one, I think, in Austin.
The wait, I thought
Keto.
it
I
was
think it was the keto one. Because remember we went
keto
to
con. I thought it
yeah,
was Paleo Effect. No, is that
it
right?
could have been Paleo Effects, but I really think
Yeah,
it was KetoCon. I really think
I
it
don't
was.
remember.
Yeah. Anyway.
Wow, that was so long ago.
Because remember there were all those
Um,
keto dudes there. We went
yeah.
out to eat and everybody was like, I only eat meat. You
Mm.
know, that's what was
Yeah.
happening at the
Yeah, I
time. Anyway.
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever been to one. Just like conferences and stuff where a bunch of
Yeah.
people get together who love
Yep.
talking about fitness and all that
Yep.
stuff. Um, so yeah, let us know. You can email
Yeah.
us, muscle science for women number 4, or hit us up
Yep.
on the gram. But
Yep.
yeah, some conversations that we could start having. And this kind of came
Yeah.
about too. I was talking to um, my friend Bree about doing
Fellow
like a
buff person.
fellow buff person
Yeah.
doing like a breakup retreats. Because imagine, and if any, I'm don't steal this if you're listening, but
Yeah.
like
Don't steal it.
I'm sure they're out there, but having somewhere to go, like if you're going, everybody is going to go through a breakup in their life, probably, or multiples, but like having a like something that you can like go to when this happens and like actually have a community, people to lean on, like things to focus on, and like having all the stuff kind of like that I like all the self-help, books and
Mm-hmm.
meditations and all that stuff like in one place, like a breakup retreat. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
but that's how I kind of got on the thought of it. And then
You should light some
obviously
stuff on
fitness one.
fire. There'd be some like
Yeah.
real like cathartic stuff going on in these
Yeah.
retreats. I think that could be.
Or just you're around people who are going, because that's what I think for me, that's what helped
No,
me.
you should just light stuff on fire. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just a big fan of lighting things on
No,
fire.
I was just
Anyway.
gonna say, like, that's what helped me get through. I think the first part of mine was like leaning
Yeah.
on my friends who had gone through really tough breakups and like for them to like, be able to understand exactly how I was feeling
Mm-hmm.
was just that just helped me a
Yeah.
lot. And I think it's the same as like you're going through like I don't know, like if you had, I think we talked about it last time, like if you, someone, close to you died, right? Like you'll
Mm-hmm.
only, um, like I have some close friends who lost their parents, right? Like you only know that feeling when you go through it, like
Mm-hmm.
truly.
It helps to be around people who have been
Yeah.
where you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, anyways, I don't know where I was going with this, but
Breakup
we have some
retreats.
ideas. So,
Yeah. I think that's very
let us,
cool. Anyway, there's so much on the horizon. There's so much that
yeah.
we can potentially do
Yeah.
if people are into it. So we just would love
Mhm.
to hear from you guys, and you always give us great feedback, and we
Yeah.
love our listeners. You guys are the best.
Should
Okay,
we
we've got some
answer some
questions. Yeah.
questions?
Let's do it. Let's do
Let's
it.
do it.
Let's read this one. That is the subject is called Skinny Fat Struggles.
Mm.
And um, I think her name's Gurley.
Girly.
I don't know. It's a kind of beautiful, very unique name that I've never seen
Yeah.
before. But okay, they're saying, I'm desperate for help. I was listening to your podcast. I'm skinny fat, I think. And she says kind of her information. Again, I don't think that's necessarily
Mm-hmm.
like we don't really need to go into it, but she says she's lost weight, gained muscle, but you can't get lower than this particular weight, 180, and then the weight creeps back up. My ideal weight goal is 165 to 170. I want to lose 15 to 20 more pounds. I've been training for 4 years, functional fitness and CrossFit, but more consistently the past year and a half, 4 to 5 times a week consistently with the intention to compete. Low cardio running, but more cardio training, short burst runs, rows. Okay, she's entered some small competitions. I've gotten way stronger and I see the recomp results to my body, but I can't seem to figure out how to lose my belly fat and cut my weight down from 180. I feel stuck. She's saying she aims for 130 grams of protein, most days barely reaching it. I end up doing a calorie deficit fasting, eating less, and I know that slows down my metabolism. When I don't see results, I start eating less portions. Results are slow, and I know I'm suffering with lack of energy. I think my nutrition is decent, and when I'm focused, I eat very clean. I'm tired of not seeing results for how much I train, and I train hard, not each day progressively, and I do my recovery. So she's saying her tummy just isn't going down. She feels fat at times, slow and sluggish. So
Mhm.
she's asking how, she's saying she thinks she's skinny fat and how to reach her weight goals. There's a ton of information in here, a ton
Mhm.
of stuff we can comment on that I think could be helpful to a lot of other people because I think a lot of the stuff she's talking about, her comments are quite common
Yeah.
issues, right? Where do you want to start?
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say, been there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that right when she kind of mentioned the CrossFit, and also trying to eat enough protein, but not quite getting there, doing a lot of work, but not feeling like you're seeing any of the reward. Um, been there, done that.
Mm-hmm.
That's where most of our clients are, right? The
Mm-hmm.
first thing I'm going to say is I'm going to plug our program, Muscle Science for Women, because that's
Mm-hmm.
exactly why we created this program, is to teach you how to change your body composition and do the right kind of work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so plugging that there, but I
Yep.
think just two things that even like right off the bat to start to focus on. The first one is we talk about this all the time, protein, consistently making sure that you're getting enough protein to support the training that you're doing. And also potentially, understanding that if your goal is to change your body composition, CrossFit is probably not the best modality for your training. Um,
People don't
I,
want to hear that, but
yeah,
it's true.
sorry.
Yep.
I didn't want to hear
Yep.
that either.
Yeah.
But that's where I spent so many years, like, just in YouTube, right? Killing
Mm-hmm.
yourself in the gym, feeling like you're working so hard, sweating so much, feel like you're just like giving it your
Mm-hmm.
all and seeing absolutely no changes. It's because CrossFit is it's great, it's fun, whatever. It's cardio with weights to a degree, especially the types like the general CrossFit classes where you're doing lots of like heavy lifting but for time and you're not resting and you're not tracking your weights like it's like Barry's boot camp and Orange Theory and F45 like you're going to see a little bit of results in the beginning when you first start doing it because it's a new novelty thing, but over
It's not
time
progressive.
it's not progressive. Your body is going to stop adapting to it because you're not training to build muscle. And when you train to build muscle, that's how you change your body composition. So,
And it's a much higher chance of getting injured. And this isn't even just
yeah,
like shitting on CrossFit specifically, but anything that involves the high intensity of something like CrossFit and without the progressive intelligent programming, it's you're really again kind of asking. I know very few people who do CrossFit consistently for a couple years or more that don't have some kind of injury as a result of it.
100%.
It's not because CrossFit inherently is so terrible. It's just it doesn't make sense for a long term, like you said, the
Hmm.
main modality for your fitness and strength gains. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not the
And
best
it's,
plan.
yeah. So, I mean, if your goal is to truly, and it's not like you can never go back to it and you can never go back to doing competitions or doing CrossFit or like you can keep CrossFit in for a little bit. But like if your main goal is to actually do the right type of work to change your body composition and stop spinning your wheels, you should be following a hypertrophy style lifting program where you're lifting weights to with the main goal of building muscle, not burning calories. You're resting enough between your sets. You're progressively overloading and you're doing actual movements that are going to send the signal to the muscles that you're trying to grow to actually grow, right? You're not doing cleans on top of snatches, right? You're
Burpee,
doing
box
actual,
jumps.
yeah, you're doing
Yeah.
actual movements that are going to put your muscles under tension, right? Time under tension to be able to adapt and grow. That is what's going to change your physical body composition. And that is what's going to allow you to actually see the results from the work you're putting in over the long term.
Okay, I have a bunch of things and I hope that this is helpful to you with the beautiful name that I don't want to butcher anymore. So she also talks about the food piece and how she
Mm-hmm.
kind of struggles to get enough protein, and then she ends up doing this calorie deficit, fasting, eating less. So as we've talked about ad nauseum, you guys know that that's not the way to do it. We tend to react out of fear because we want to lose weight or we want to look better so badly, so we try to eat less, and we just can't say it enough times that that isn't the way to do it. Not by under fueling your body and then training hard is not the way to change your body composition. And especially as we get older, she says she's 39, as we enter into potentially the landscape of perimenopause and some hormonal dysregulation and stuff like that, it's only going to make it worse. So we've talked about this even in the last episode of try to get off this roller coaster of I ate too much, now I'm going to not eat anything. I feel bad, so I'm going to restrict. Like, just let's figure out what is enough food, a good amount of food to support your goals, and just try to stay there. I just want to say that quickly.
Hmm.
But a couple other details here that are just interesting that I think, again, if we really want to kind of use this as a case study, she talks about her age, her weight, her even her body fat percentage, which it by most standards, 25% body fat is not um, something to be concerned about. That's well within the healthy range of body fat for women. So it leads me to ask a couple questions. First of all, she doesn't say how tall she is, and body shape and type makes a difference too. Like, this isn't
Hmm.
about shaming people's weight or body shape, but a certain weight at 5'1" versus 5'10" is going to make a big difference. How tall are you? Like, what, that makes a
Yeah.
difference too. And when she's saying, I feel like I need to lose 15 to 20 pounds, why? Why? Maybe you do. Maybe you will be healthier and feel better and look better at 20 pounds lighter, but do you know why you picked that number? Did someone tell
Hmm.
you that? Does that, was that what you weighed at a certain point in your life when you felt really good about yourself? Like, we got to ask ourselves these questions because I mean, every client who has ever come to me has said, I got to lose X amount of pounds. And my question usually is why? How did you arrive at that number? Why do you think that number is the right number? Because we get so
Hmm.
stuck on this number and this number on the scale. And as you were saying, like body composition, body recomp, what you look like, whether you're gaining muscle, whether you're stronger, whether you fit in your clothes better, whether you look better in pictures, whether you feel better about yourself matters so much more than did I lose the 20 pounds I said arbitrarily I was going to lose, right?
Yeah.
So that's something to think about. And this doesn't, I just wrote a couple notes. And then, and she also there may be some hormonal stuff going on. She may be overtraining. She may be in perimenopause. Who knows? There may be some hormonal stuff that is making things harder for her that we don't know about based on this email. So that may be something she
Hmm.
wants to look into and talk to her healthcare provider and get some blood work done and make sure that everything's kind of functioning the way it's supposed to. And then lastly, this isn't really directly related to this email, but it's something I wanted to mention because it's been coming up for me in real-time conversations where I've had some friends who are like asking for some advice and some thoughts on adjusting their diet to lose some body fat. And I hear so often people saying, I usually eat pretty clean. I eat really good, like I eat really healthy. And I think it's worth noting that that is a pretty vague statement. We don't know what that means. For some people, that could be like they could tell me what their menu is, and I'm like, ew, I don't personally
Hmm.
actually think that's the most healthy. I think you could make some tweaks. But it's also really important, I think, for people to know that you could eat a perfectly whole foods, unprocessed diet and still gain weight. You could still be
100%.
heavier than you want to be, because food quality absolutely matters and is so important. But food amount and how much you're eating to support your body and your goals and what you're doing matters. So you could eat the most 100% clean, perfect diet in the world and still gain weight.
Hmm.
So it's just, these are just like some nuances. I just think it's important to say because a lot of people I think are disappointed. They maybe switch out their pasta and pizza Fridays and whatever, and they start eating all this like quote unquote really healthy unprocessed food, and they're like, I haven't lost any weight. It's like, well, if you're still eating 500 grams of carbs a day that you don't need, or if you're still
Hmm.
eating way more than your maintenance, it's still gonna
Yeah.
it's still gonna affect you. So anyway,
Yeah. And that's where like
yeah.
the education comes in with where tracking like is I think that most people who are looking to change their body composition have to track at some point in their life to gain the education on what is in your food, right? Because you could eat avocados and nuts and seeds and be like, these are the healthiest things ever, and be eating like in a huge surplus and not even realize it. And so that's why,
Yes.
if you haven't spent some time tracking your food, like don't look at it as a restriction. Look at it as a way to learn what you're actually putting in your body, from like a data standpoint. And it doesn't mean that you have to do it forever, but it's a really good insight. And you'll start to realize, like, oh, maybe I have been eating way more calories than I actually think I have.
Yep.
Or maybe you've been eating way less calories than you think you have if you are
Hmm.
struggling to put on muscle. So tracking is not supposed to be this thing that's like super restrictive and like um
Scary. And
scary and all that stuff. And like people are like, oh well, I was told I should just try to eat intuitively. And like if you're not seeing results doing that, then obviously we need to unpack some things. So
yeah. She's saying here too, like in this last paragraph, she says, I know I need to give myself more grace so I don't fall harder going backward now that I've made so much progress. It's frustrating because I've been putting effort in for months and months. How long or what consistency do I need with nutrition that's sustainable? She's saying, I'm tired and I've tried so many variations. So I feel I empathize with her just feeling like just sort of tired and depleted and like feeling like I've been trying so hard.
mhm.
But to your point, and I don't knock it, I'm sure she has been busting her ass and working really hard and
Oh
putting a
yeah,
lot of effort into this,
100%.
absolutely. Um, but has she gone the route that we're always talking about of being very sort of meticulous with just paying attention, whether it's tracking your food, tracking the activity that you're doing, how's your sleep, how's your digestion? Have you sought out the help of somebody else, a coach, somebody extraneous outside of your world that can just provide some intelligent sort of experience based feedback?
Mhm.
um, because again, not to knock the work that you've been doing, but maybe you haven't been as consistent as you think. You may have been working really hard for months, but is the consistency, is it this roller coaster that we talked about where you restrict
Mhm.
and you fall off and you freak out and you work too hard and you aren't sleeping? Like, we don't know, right?
Yeah.
So it shouldn't feel, and I know that it's different, the journey is different for everybody, but really in an ideal world, the sustainable plan for you, whether it's the workout part and the training part, it shouldn't feel unsustainable. It shouldn't feel like a slog. There may be periods where if you're trying to lose some body fat or you're trying to make some big muscle, gains, it's going to be hard and it's going to be challenging. But to be sort of just a healthy, thriving person throughout your life, throughout your fitness journey, it shouldn't feel like this. Oh my God, I can barely do this. I'm barely hanging on. That's a
Mhm.
sign that it's not right. And that should be part of the criteria of if you have a goal and you're trying to get to a body composition goal and say you're giving yourself 6 months, it should be like, I'm eating enough. Is the training progressive and intelligently programmed? Can I get enough sleep? Am I moving a lot? And how does this feel for me? There should be this
Mhm.
balance of like, yeah, I'm challenging myself, I'm paying attention, I'm working hard, but it shouldn't feel like this just slog that's miserable.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign.
I feel like there's two, like, kind of buckets of people or women who
Hmm.
probably listen to this podcast. And this is kind of like two of the kind of, I don't know why I'm calling it buckets, but putting people into like two categories, like
Hmm.
general for clients that I work with. It's like there's a category where there's females who they're working so hard, right? They're doing all this work, but it's not the right kind of work,
Kind of
right? They're
work.
putting in
Yeah.
so much effort, but they're not doing the right type of work to get to the results that they want, right? So that's where that's an education problem, right? We need to
Mm-hmm.
get more educated on the things that actually move the needle, and they're not the fancy shiny objects, right? They're the basics and the things that people overlook, the foundational pieces, and they're ignoring those or they're just not aware of them. And so you don't know what
Mm-hmm.
you don't know, right? And so that's like one side of it. Once you can start to actually understand, oh, these are the actual things that are going to move the needle. If I start doing these things consistently, I'm going to start I'm going to stop feeling like I'm continuously spinning my wheels doing all this work and not seeing any reward. You're going to start to
Mm-hmm.
see reward because now you know the things to work on. So that's like one side. The other side, so that's like an education barrier. The other side is an accountability barrier. And this is kind of what I've seen in my coaching. It's like then we have the people who know what to do and they have an idea and a generalized idea what to do, but they're not they don't have someone to hold them accountable. They don't have something that is like um, keeping them on track.
Hmm.
So that's like an accountability side of it. And then also potentially um, there could be more another bucket, so to speak, of those who are, and this maybe is in the first one where you're actually doing too much, right? Like
Yep.
you're overdoing it. You need to
Yep.
chill out.
Yep.
I've
Yep.
been in every single one of these, and so have probably you, and
Yeah.
probably as you evolve through your health and fitness journey, you've probably been in it if you're listening to this, or maybe you haven't gotten to one of them yet. But
Hmm.
you have to realize where you're at, and then be able to kind of move forward from there. And again, that's why all of those things can, if you work with a coach or if you invest in yourself, whether it's a program or a one-on-one coach or a group coach, whatever it is, you can get past that and stop spinning your wheels. So anyway,
Yep. Yep.
does that make sense?
That makes so much sense.
Okay.
Um, Okay, the other question that I had
Oh
highlighted
yeah.
is it I have it here, but I
Mm-hmm.
it literally is it might just be a little bit too self-serving because literally the whole thing is this person I think is like new to the podcast and she's asking about like what she needs to get fit and she wants to know what program to take and I'm like, "Guess what? We have one." So this is literally just another, and I know people get mad at us when we advertise our own programs too much on our own podcasts. Sorry, guys.
Do they actually get mad
But
at us though?
there have been like one or two, I think, comments of
Really?
people being like, "You guys like just talk about your own programs too much." And I'm like, "Duh."
Well,
That's our job and our livelihood. Anyway, whatever. You can't please everybody on the internet, especially. Okay, we know this. But this person, Casey, I mean, again, I can even just like send her an email. This is another thing that people need to know is this podcast has 2.5 million downloads. We're kind of a big deal. However, we monitor our own email. We are the ones who read this and respond and answer
we're a
them and
two-person
whatever.
show.
We're a two-person. We do have someone who edits the podcast, and
Right, right.
you could technically say my husband is basically working for us because he listens to every podcast and gives me feedback. It is unsolicited, but still. um, but anyway, yeah, like I will respond to this person because we don't even need to like get into it
Yeah.
here. But just to kind of like recap that the program, the flagship program, like the reason why this podcast exists is because we created
Mm-hmm.
that program, which is a very holistic, all-encompassing approach to helping people get on track, to get stronger, understand their body, understand how to fuel it, and
Yeah.
kind of empower themselves to take this information and go do something with it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's
I
yeah.
want to take I want to make one thing. I want to say one thing here because I think this is important, and this is like what we probably both did.
Hmm.
I feel like a lot of people are avoiding like taking the step to actually put some money behind what
Yes.
they want. And I'm going to give an example of a client that I just signed on. Not that this is like I don't know her full background, but she signed up with me for one-on-one coaching, and she's said that she's been following me for 8 years.
Mm.
And I thought
Hmm.
that was really cool in the sense of like, wow, like you've been following me for 8 years, and like she's gotten to a point where she's finally taking the step. But like you don't have to wait that long to like
No.
get to where you want to be. I know for me, I waited a long time to hire my own coach because my ego was just like, "Oh,
Yeah.
why do you need a coach? You're supposed to be a
That's me
coach. You're
too.
supposed to be knowing like what you're saying and what you're doing." And yeah, you can know all the things in the world, but we talk about this all the time. Do all professional athletes have their own coaches? Yes. Do
Yes.
any professional, anybody, CEO, whatever, have their own coaches in so many different areas? Yes. There's a
Yes.
reason for that. So stop trying to do it on your own. And
Yes.
I just, I don't know.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm getting
That
fired up.
I love it. I think that's so true. And you and I were very solidly in that bucket of knowing exactly what to do and not having the accountability. And so we weren't necessarily doing it to the degree that we
Mm-hmm.
wanted. And I'll tell you, if I hadn't taken the plunge and gotten my coach 6, 7 weeks ago to get myself back on track, would I be in the position feeling the way I do right now? No, I know exactly
Mm-hmm.
what to do. She hasn't told me a single thing that I didn't already know.
Yeah.
And I still absolutely needed to invest in somebody to
Yeah.
give to help me out, to kind of hold my hand for a little while. And
Yeah.
if you look at things in terms of investing, like, yeah, nobody, everything's expensive now, everything costs a lot of money, everything sucks, whatever. But if you look at like cost benefit analysis of this stuff, if you care this much, if it's that important to you, you'll figure it out. Like we all are spending
Hmm.
money on Netflix and overpriced coffees. Like we're all, there's places,
Yeah.
we can find the time to work out. We can find the time to meal prep. We can find the time to take care of ourselves. And I would like to think that most of us generally have the ability to invest in our wellness in that way too, if it's worth it. And it's not something that you need to
Yeah.
do for the rest of your life either. Like you and I think are big proponents of we want to teach you stuff so that you don't need us forever. Like I don't want to have necessarily the same one-on-one coaching client for years. I want you to
Hmm.
be able to go on and do what you want to do. This isn't a forever thing. This is a I need help and let's go get it
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
Invest in
that.
yourself, right? It
Yeah.
gives what's the saying? Like invest in yourself gives it's the best ROI. Because
Yeah.
when you start to feel confident in yourself and like look in the mirror and you're like, wow, I feel great, or I'm lifting heavy shit in the gym and I just feel so good, like everything else in your life is going to get better. I don't care
Yeah.
what you say, like everything else, because you're going to be happier, right? And
Absolutely.
then everything else is just going to start going up.
Yeah. That's right. All right.
That's
Are we
my
done
that's my
here?
motivational speech. Are we done?
Things going
I
going
think we're
up.
done. Wait,
Okay,
can I
good.
just wait, I just want to show you real quick if you're watching this on YouTube. Mia got spayed and she's been wearing a donut for the past week and it's
Oh,
the cutest
Bubby.
little thing ever. Donut head. Like, look at this. Look at the
Oh.
little
So
donut.
is she does she hate it? Or she's kind
A
of cool
little
with
bit.
it?
I
Yeah,
mean,
she
now
hates it a
I
little
think
bit.
she hates a little bit, but she like literally sits and sleeps on it. Like she uses
Yeah, I feel
as a
like that. I
pillow.
want one of
It's the
those right
cutest
now to
thing
like go
ever.
sit on the couch and like go like this. I should have brought my child down so we can both show cute little creatures, but she has been
Yeah.
squealing upstairs for
Oh,
like the
so we
last
gotta
half
go.
hour. I also want to show something. Oh, I can't do it. I was trying to point to something in your background, but it looks like
Oh.
Father Christmas on your.
It
Do you
is.
see that?
My mom, I don't know. This is a Christmas decoration that my mom never took down.
I
It's
love
been
that.
there, I don't know
She really
why.
likes it, and she said that Old Saint Nick is going to stay there year
Hmm.
round. And listen, I love that. I think he's been watching over us. We're going to get something good for Christmas this year because we've been
Yeah.
working really hard on the podcast. Okay, maybe we'll get some
Yeah.
Muscle Science for Women merch.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right.
All right. Until next time, I
Well,
can't wait to hear about your adventures, you jet-setting girl, you.
Chicago.
And
Peace out, New
yes,
York.
have fun in Chicago. Maybe I'll have to come visit sometime. I've been to Chicago once and I really liked it. Really good food, good times. So
Yeah.
that's how I judge how great a place is how good the food is.
Same. Good
Um,
food, good people. I mean, again, summertime, so who knows what the winter will be.
yeah,
I'm not,
yeah,
sorry, little context, not moving to Chicago, just going there for a little bit to check it
hanging
out and
out.
hang out. And then
Yes,
we'll see where
love that
the
for
wind
you.
blows me, literally.
And you'll have some adventures to tell us about when you get back.
I will.
All
Cool.
right, everybody. Thank you for listening. We'll see you
Thanks
next
for
week.
tuning in.
And love you guys. Love
Love
you.
you. Don't be
Bye. Don't do
insane.
stupid shit. Bye.
Bye.